Hey guys, welcome back to Brooklyn Jew Barbecue. And today we're going to be doing one of our all-time favorites, some beef ribs. What you can do is go to BJ's. BJ's is definitely good for these. If you call the butcher ahead of time, you get them before they slice them up. So you can get them as a full block. I don't like cooking them one at a time because you don't get the same flow of the fat and the juices as you would with these. So when you cook them whole, you're able to cook them longer, lower, and really get more flavor and also get more smoke on. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut away some of this hard fat here. And as you can see, that's just hard fat. That's not going to render down. And all it's going to do is really just puff up. And it's going to soak up a lot of the rub that we want to put on this. And it's just no good in any situation. So if you want to take a look here, you can see it comes off easy. A definite tip is to do this while the meat is cold. This way, you're lowering the risk of cutting yourself. If the meat is too warm, it's going to be harder to get this fat off. When you're cutting it like this, you're really lopping off the hard fat in chunks as opposed to little tiny pieces. So you don't want to block the rub that you're putting on here by wasting it on this hard. You got to remember too, is this is a nice chunk of meat. The plate ribs are basically it's the meat that's below the ribeye steak. So what you have here is you have meat that's got a lot of fat ingrained in the meat. It's marbled in there. So if you take a close look, you could see in there and you see all the white lines. That's all fat that's in the meat itself. So you're not going to cut away fat that you need by cutting it off the top. So we definitely like fat because we know fat is flavor. But this fat is just a big waste of time. So as you can see, as we cut it away, we're exposing more of the meat. And we're letting a lot more area get rub, a lot more area get the smoke. And once you cut it off, again, if you want to take a look, you can see the marbling right there in the meat that this would have been blocked if we left the fat on top of it. So we're almost done. It doesn't take very long to do this. Don't rush because rushing equals nubs. So kind of get this up on its side and get rid of all this gunk. The best thing to use for something like this is a standard meat slicing knife. A boning knife is actually what it's called. So it's good to get a good one of these. You can always sharpen it up, but you'll get years of use out of this. A little slippery. So as you cut it away here, you're exposing more of the meat, getting rid of this stuff. If you get a little bit of meat when you're cutting it, don't worry. There's plenty of it. You're not losing a thing. There's going to be a silver skin left on this. It's not necessary to get it off. This will kind of just disappear as the cook goes. It'll just go. You're not going to see it on the finished product, that's for sure. I mean, we don't have to go all the way down to the bone on the cutting. So this is pretty nice. This is good enough. You can see the meat here. Anything loose hanging off, just rip it away. The idea is just to get as much as you can without hitting too much meat. Anything that's hard, get it off. All right. So now that we have this all butchered up, let's take a look at what we're going to be using today. This is Killer Hogs. I'm a big fan of this stuff. There's all different kinds of rub. This one is an AP rub. It's all-purpose seasoning. It's just salt, pepper, garlic. Now, we also have some paprika because that'll give it a nice color. It doesn't affect the flavor at all, but this will give it that nice mahogany brown look. So we like to use that. And as always, we want to use a binder. This is just regular extra virgin olive oil. We put it on there. It's going to help the meat stick, the rub stick to the meat. So let's get this on there. And just remember, always use black gloves. They're pretty cheap. You could usually get them on some kind of website or in like a local store. I got these on Temu. So rub this down. Now, this is a membrane on the back of these that you want to leave this membrane on. I know baby back ribs, we always take them off. But when you're looking at these, you want to keep this on. This is really thick. It's a pain in the butt to get off. And also you want to leave this on because the membrane holds the meat together. Once this cooks, it's going to get really soft. It's going to have pullback on the bones. And if it doesn't have the membrane, it's going to flop all over the place. And it's just going to be a real mess. So once we rub this thing down with the olive oil, then we start applying our seasoning. This is terrific because this is salt, pepper, and garlic in one. Saves a lot of back and forth. And the formula is a perfect mix of all the three ingredients. So could be lazy and buy it. So let's go. Oops. Nobody saw that. So let's give it a nice even coat. Go heavy with it because it's a nice chunk of meat. So you could definitely season it up. Get a nice coating on there. Don't forget to give some love to the sides. And what you can see is it's sticking right to it. The olive oil is basically like super glue for these. And the other great thing about the olive oil is on any kind of meat, whether it's steak, brisket, beef ribs, it's going to give a little bit of a crispier crust to the outside. Plus, we have the black pepper in here, which is going to do the same. So we like to have that bark. You want to have a little bit of a crunch when you're biting into it. Not too hard. You just want to chip a tooth, but you could definitely see a difference try it next time you just even barbecue on a steak, throw some olive oil on it, and then just do what you normally do. Salt, pepper, garlic, or get the AP seasoning. All right. Now, for the look of it, go on there with some smoked paprika. I would tell you where I got this one from, but I just don't remember. But everybody sells paprika. Okay. So get on sides. This is a well-seasoned piece of meat. The idea is you want to get it cooking when it is at room temperature. Room temperature is important. You definitely don't want to smoke it when it's frozen. If you've got freezer burn ice on it, it's going to really cause a stall in the meat when the temperature is rising. So go with room temperature, even if it takes a little while longer, just to frost it earlier or keep it on the counter. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this for a little bit, maybe like 10, 15 minutes, let the rub really soak into it, let it get settled in. And what we're going to do is we're going to smoke this at about 275, and we want an internal temperature of 200 degrees. So we smoke it at 275. When it hits 160, with your trusty meat thermometer, when you hit 160, just like a brisket, we're going to wrap it in the butcher paper, not foil. Get yourself some butcher paper. It lets the meat really steam. And once you have enough color on here, the butcher paper is really going to let it get soft and juicy. Then once it comes off at 200, we're going to let it sit in the cooler and rest. The more rest you could give it, the better. For a piece like this, I would say about 2 hours is good, maybe even 3 in that cooler, and let the meat reabsorb those juices, because when you're cooking meat like this and it's cooking, the meat's contracting and the juices are coming out. When you let it rest, the muscles are uncontracted or spreading out, I guess you'd say, and it's reabsorbing that juice. So if you do these things, I promise you, you have a great piece of meat. If you don't let it rest, it's going to wind up getting dry because it just hasn't reabsorbed the juices yet. So the main thing is time management. Make sure you give yourself enough time. If you do this, I promise you will definitely love what you're making, right? So we're going to get the smoker fired, and we'll see you in a little while when we're wrapping this. All right, see you soon. Hey guys, just checked on the meat. We're at 160. Getting closer to eating some of these beef ribs. So, gotta wrap trusty glove. Nobody feels like burning any hands today. Oh baby, that's looking pretty. Can you get in on that? We got some nice mahogany coloring. We got good pullback on those bones there. That is pretty. All right, so we're still gonna stay meat side up. So what we're gonna do, to get too complicated here, just wanna close it up like so. This is the way it's gonna go on. So we just tuck these corners underneath. Put it back on. All right, so we'll see you soon. I think we got roughly about another 2 hours, about an hour, because we're at 160 right now. But once we get to that, we'll wrap it up, put it in the cooler, and I'll be back for the big unveiling. See you soon. Hey guys, it is payoff time. It is ready. The meat is done. It's rested, and I'm ready to eat. So let's get this going. All right. So as always, when you got paper that looks like that, you know you did something right. So here we go. Let's unwrap this. Oh, look at that grease. Come on, look at that grease. If you're looking for one of those healthy shows that, shows you how to cook with herbal and organic and healthy, you definitely need to change the channel, because that's not how we roll. All right, so take a look at the pullback on that. I mean, that's what you call pullback. Look, that meat was a block and it pulled all the way back in. So let's give it a cut. Let's see, oh, the knife just glides right through that. And if there was any doubt, that's a smoke ring right there. That's a smoke ring. If you guys do everything I was talking about, trust me when I tell you, you're gonna have some insanely good beef ribs. Now, I gotta try this. I mean, I'm sorry because you're in there and I'm over here, but if you were here, I'd share with you. Oh my God, let's go. Jackson, come here. I got my taste tester here who won't put down his new bat. Yeah. Eat that. What do you think?
I love it.
All right, good stuff. All right.
This is amazing.
I got some hungry family members here and some neighbors to hide from because they see them kind of lurking. So listen to me, guys. Tell me what you like. Don't tell me what you like. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you'll see me cook. Tell me your favorite thing to throw on the smoker, all right? And we'll see you next time. Have a great day.